The Nazis are known for their atrocities during World War II, where millions of innocent people lost their lives. They built many barracks to house their soldiers and prisoners, and these barracks hold a dark history. One particular Nazi barrack, however, had a story that would shock even the most seasoned historians. In today's video, we will be showing you what happened in this Nazi barrack. Without further ado, let's begin. The barrack in question was located in a small village in Germany. It was initially built to house soldiers, but during the war, it was used as a concentration camp for Jewish prisoners. The conditions in the camp were horrific, with prisoners being subjected to grueling work, starvation, and torture. The barrack was infamous for its brutality, and prisoners would often be sent there as punishment. One day, a group of prisoners arrived at the camp. Among them was a young Jewish woman named Ruth. She was only 18 years old and had been taken from her family and sent to the camp. Ruth was different from the other prisoners. She was resilient, intelligent, and had a fierce determination to survive. Despite the terrible conditions, she refused to give up. The story of Ruth and the Nazi barrack is not just a story of survival and resilience. It is also a story of the power of education. Ruth's teachings gave the other prisoners something that the Nazis could never take away: knowledge. By learning about literature, science, and history, the prisoners were reminded of their humanity and their connection to the outside world. They were no longer just faceless victims of the Nazi regime. They were individuals with their own hopes, dreams, and aspirations. The power of education is something that we often take for granted. We assume that everyone has access to education, and we forget how important it is for our personal growth and development. Ruth was assigned to work in the barrack, where she was subjected to the same brutal treatment as the other prisoners. However, Ruth was not content to simply survive. She wanted to make a difference. She began to secretly teach the other prisoners, sharing her knowledge of literature, science, and history. Ruth knew that education was the key to freedom, and she was determined to give the other prisoners hope. Over time, Ruth's teachings began to have an effect. The prisoners became more resilient, and they began to see a glimmer of hope for the future. They were no longer just surviving, they were thriving. Ruth's teachings even reached the guards, who began to see the prisoners in a different light. They started to treat them with more compassion and humanity. Despite the progress, the camp remained a place of horror. The prisoners were still subjected to terrible treatment, and many lost their lives. However, Ruth's teachings gave them something that the Nazis could never take away: knowledge. They learned about art, music, and literature, and they were reminded that there was a world beyond the barbed wire fence. One day the war ended, and the prisoners were freed. Ruth was among them. She had survived the horrors of the Nazi regime, and she had made a difference. The knowledge she had shared with the other prisoners had given them hope and helped them to survive. The memorial also honors Ruth and the other prisoners who refused to give up hope, even in the darkest of times. The story of Ruth in the Nazi barrack is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Despite the horrors of the Nazi regime, Ruth refused to give up. She used her knowledge to give hope to the other prisoners, and her teachings had a profound effect. The legacy of the barrack lives on, reminding us of the atrocities committed during World War II and the need to stand up against injustice and hate. So guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.